Right, so for this week's chat, we're just going to discuss the price changes coming into play from Hornby. Now, it's something that you've all probably heard of. From the 1st of September, Hornby's having a 10% price increase. And what does this mean for you, me, the hobby, and my dog, which won't leave me alone? Come and say hello. So, the price changes are a part now of this hobby. And I know that I've given Batman a hard time for charging what they charge for their models, and there are various reasons why that happens, and I'm not going to go into it today on this video. But I think when we address price issues now, there is more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is easy to get swept up with the doom and gloom factor of it all. Yes, I know it's expensive. It's a very expensive hobby which we take part in. It really is. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. Now, you can go into the depths of it in terms of what's going on with wages and everything else, and how we're all underpaid and what have you. Simple fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. This hobby's always been expensive. It's always been higher than other hobbies in terms of cost and affordability, and it doesn't help that the fact that we are now in a position where we are demanding more and more from a model in terms of features and quality of running and detail and all the rest of it, and that must come at a price. Now, when you're a big company like Hornby, you do ultimately have things like shareholders to take into account, and many people from many different departments who all want their rightful slice of the pie. Some probably just want a little bit more money for the sake of it, but whatever, I'm not going to get into that. So when you compare it to firms like, let's say, Curascale, who have also had a slight price increase on their 3 wagon packs. The exact prices, I don't have them to hand, but usually they were £75 a pack, and they're about the £85 mark now for some of their triple pack wagons. Banana vans in particular, I believe. But even that is even that is a 15% increase in price. But that still only brings Curascale in line with what everyone else is already charging before everyone else increases their prices. Batman, you pay between 35 quid for a little four-wheel wagon, 2-axle wagon or van. Rapido, anywhere from 27 quid to 35 quid, depending on what it is. But really, when you think about a Curascale's price range and price increases, all they're doing is bringing themselves in line to what everyone else is already charging. So it's not too bad, really. But I don't think we should be too hard on Hornby. They do have a job to do. It's not an easy one. There are many fussy people in this hobby. I am probably one of the biggest arseholes in this hobby in terms of firing off my mouth and being very reactionary and upsetting people and upsetting manufacturers who are probably watching this going, "Oh, idiots, talking nonsense again, don't know what it's going on about." Blah, blah, blah. Alright, fine, fair enough. All I am is just a bloke with an opinion on a camera, and I talk to the camera and I voice my opinion, and that's as far as it's ever gone. That's as far as it will ever go, more than likely. We can't get away from price increases. They are happening, they're going to happen. It is what it is. Now, it will inevitably force some people out of the hobby, and there's very little we can do about that. Maybe those people will have to consider a different route when it comes to buying new models or stock. Maybe wait a little bit longer before they make that purchase. Or like I'm doing, just entirely just restrict what you buy. It's very easy to get wrapped up in the whole, oh, this is the new thing, and everyone else wants the new thing. So there becomes a little bit of this, almost like a bragging trap, if you will. And I don't know if it's just me. It might well just be me, and I can only ever speak for me, but let's just use, for example, let's just say, for example, Rapido. Okay, Rapido have announced a new wagon or a new van or locomotive or whatever. Now, I'm not picking on Rapido, I'm just randomly using them as an example. You can replace Rapido's name with Hornby, Bachmann, DAP or whatever. Everyone's going, oh, this new wagon is fantastic. We almost have this new wagon, or we almost have this new locomotive. And there's almost like a little bit of pressure, I think, within the, certainly with the online model railway community, to be seen to be having that latest thing. So you can be a part of it. You can be a part of the now. Oh, look at that. It's the new Cavalex Class 56. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Never mind the fact it costs twice what you have in disposable income. You've got to have it. Or the new Acura Scale Class 37. Got to have it. Got to have it. Even though it's £100 out of your own personal budget and you are going to have to do without something else, you still make that choice to go and get it. And if you can't do that, do you end up feeling bad? Because I understand if you do. Because I sometimes do. It might sound a bit silly, it might sound a bit daft, but that is a consequence of sharing everything online. Ironically, what I'm doing now is probably not making things any better, but it's just me venting. Does it make it worse? Is it a self-perpetuating problem? Do we make it worse for ourselves? I honestly don't know at this point. Now, I've been speaking to a couple of manufacturers. Sorry, scratch that. I've been speaking to a few retailers about what they think about the coming price increases. And here's what one of them had to say. So when it comes to the RRP of things, manufacturers will charge what they feel is necessary to charge. They don't believe there's any profiteering going on. And don't forget that when you are a retailer, you have to take your cut. And there has to be enough, what's the word I'm looking for? Enough margin built into the price of the RRP so that everyone can comfortably have their own piece of the pie. And there's no other way of cutting that pie, really. Everyone needs to have their own piece of it. The whole discounting thing is also a big part of it, but again, that almost seems to be taken into account these days by retailers. There's even an amount, and I don't know what that amount is, by the way, written into some purchase contracts to how much a retailer is allowed to discount a product over a certain amount of time. Which is why everyone seems to almost discount things by 15%, I would imagine, almost immediately. So even retailers aren't concerned about price increases because they will always do their best, for the most part, when it comes to making sure you and I get the best price that we can. The retailers are struggling. At least not from what I've been told, for what I've seen, for what I've heard. There is enough margin for people to survive and live off of by reselling things from manufacturers. Some manufacturers claim to offer a retailer more of a margin than others, some don't. And this is, again, we're at the end of the stick. We don't know all the ins and outs. We are told one thing when another thing is happening, and there's no way of really proving it either way. So what do we do about the price changes? We just have to swallow them. I'm afraid it's a bitter pill. Things are getting very expensive now. But I would say to you guys, vote with your wallet. Absolutely. Manufacturers have absolutely no qualms about adding features and increasing the price when they feel necessary. You should have absolutely no qualms about holding your money back and waiting until you're absolutely certain it's the right purchase for you. Try not to fall into that whirlwind romance period of, oh, look at this brand new fabulous model, it's so fantastic. Because you'll end up with buyer's remorse. And probably skin as well. Now, I'm not saying don't buy new models, of course. Buy new models if that's what you want. That's fine. That's what we're all here for. And certainly, fill your boots when it comes to getting things at a discounted price and a bargain price, because, hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And if your local retailer won't discount it, someone else will. So you have to do what you have to do. We all have to do what we have to do. But, as always, that's just my opinion. And I want to know what you good people think as well. Now, that's enough ranting for me. We're going to have a look at the updates on the railway. The basic jobs are always the most tedious. We're adding droppers now. We're getting close to actually being able to run trains. Hopefully, by the end of play today, I'll be able to have a train running around here. The bridge is in place and it kind of works for now. Still a little bit of room for adjustment on there, but it works. Class 47 doesn't like going that way over the bridge, so we'll have to figure out why that is. But for now, we're on with this. Alright, boys, girls and children of all ages. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Spent all morning wiring up the layout. Still got to put point motors in, but here we are. Here's the bridge test. We have little Gladstone. Will she make it across? First part done. Very good. Final part. Yeah. A little bit of a lip on both sides, but nothing that most locals can't handle. Superb job. So when it comes to building a new layout, for me, there's always one thing which is inevitable. One thing which is unavoidable. Especially when your previous layout was a small end-to-end shunting layout. And your new layout is going to be a double-decker, continuous run, like 12 foot by 5 foot thing, like this. Your old layout, which used to be up there, is now going to get harvested for parts. All these parts are going to get harvested and reused on the new layout. Easy enough to do, especially with the cobalt point motors. I can just literally rip those off and stick them on the new layout, and they'll work. But also loads of scenic elements as well. If I find a use for it. The station platform, it's modern image, so probably not going to be right for this application, but still, all the people, switches for points, lighting. If I can save the lighting, I will do. If not, then I'll have to acquire some more. But station building as well, it's all going to get reused on the big main layout. So without further ado, let's get smashing. Okie dokie, here we are. This is the layout is done. We got the point motors installed, boys and girls, and I've got this new hands-free camera thing from Insta360, which is awesome. You can see what I'm doing with my hands. It's fantastic. We can turn everything on now. We've got locomotives in place, and most importantly, we've got a bottle of linen freshener for some reason. We put that over there for now. Anyway, the bridge. Oh, the bridge. What a fantastic thing it is. Let's just get this class BR4MT up. Get the steam on, because why not? Give it some bollocks. Now, obviously, there's nothing stopping things from falling off over that side. So we're going to do something with this bridge section. I'm thinking putting some sort of a barrier there, just, you know, to stop things from coming off and derailing and shitting themselves mid-fock, if you will. Ideas for a bridge, guys. You know, let me know what we're thinking bridge-wise. And this just, you know, it's just lovely. Finally got a layout working again. So happy with this. Of course, the true test is going to be the incline proper. Once we actually get round to, oh, let's move this over here. Once we actually get round to powering the incline and getting locomotives going up and down it, I think one of the issues that we're going to have when trains are coming down it, there's a lot of weight behind the locomotive. Problem with that is, because it's such a steep incline, that weight is increased. So when they're coming down the incline, sometimes some wagons do crumple and then fall and flop. So it means either not using it or limiting the size of trains which can come up and down the incline, which kind of adds a little bit of operational thought interest thing, if you will. So I think it's going to be a good one ultimately. hopefully I can actually get it working properly and get the incline working as intended. But for now, I am just so happy that I can actually run trains again. And for the most part, they all seem to run really well. So I'm going to have a station here. This is obviously the goods line there, various things going on there, but I'm just pleased as punch now. Getting everything in order, because that's what it's all about, guys. But I want to know what you lot are thinking. Am I mad? Am I wasting my time? Will this incline of mine work? I mean, you can see there, look, it's properly steep. We'll have to see what happens, won't we? It does work though. I must admit, it does work nicely. I think you're getting stuck on. Oh, it's the magnets on the bogies, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. That's what it is, I think. Yeah. It's the magnets on the bogies. That's going to need rethinking them. Okay. That didn't do that before. That's never done that before. I honestly don't know why that's catching. It's never caught before. Okay, back to the drawing board with that. Not to worry. We'll try this again next week. I'm going to work on this. Till then, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.